guys, welcome to the Very Good Show. Today, we are in conversation with a person who is simply called the Doc by the group he commandeers. Dr. Arun Thareja, who is an ENT surgeon and an avid collector of superbikes. He has been riding since 1985. Ever since he laid his eyes on the RD350, he has never looked back. And today, there are 17 motorcycles in this garage.
Yeah, hi guys, I am Dr. Arun Thareja. I am a practicing ear, nose, throat surgeon. But people also fondly call me Dr. Speed because of my extreme love for superbikes and motorcycling in general. So I started way back in '85. I've been collecting superbikes and bikes in general. I have a lovely collection, as you can see behind me. And in the year 1998, I formed the biggest superbiking group of the country, G.O.D.S, G.O.D.S, which means Group of Delhi Superbikers. And since '85, we are still going strong, and we hope to do that. Long live motorcycling and long live brotherhood.
Alright, Doc, before we begin, let's do the rituals.
Yeah, that's what I call sprays per kilometer.
Oh, yeah. So, Doc, how are you?
All well, thank you. Thank you so much for dropping in. I mean, it's a pleasure meeting you. Always.
It's our pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, welcome.
And as we are aware that you founded the group of Delhi Superbikers long ago. I don't really remember exact year.
98.
98, when mostly people didn't even know what a superbike is.
True, exactly.
All they had seen the superbikes were in the movies. So how has the journey been? What kicked it off actually? I want to know.
Fabulous. I mean, and year after year, there is no letting go. That's this kind of a journey, this kind of a passion we all share in common, motorcycles and motorcycling. So it goes up and up because you are so passionate. The more people you meet like-minded, the more the fire gets on from deep within. So this journey, like I said, God started in '98, but my personal thing started in '85 with this awesome machine right here in front of us, which is in a mint condition even now, the 1985 Yamaha RD350. So this ignited my spark.
So the original wet dream maker.
The original dream machine, the HT high torque RD350. So I was not at all into motorcycles since my childhood, or I would say the early days in school. And even then in my MBBS, this happened in the final year, 1984 end. And I suddenly saw the advertisement. I still have that poster with me of a RD350.
Love to see that.
Rajdoot RD350. And I said, looks pretty interesting. Had no clue about motorcycles before that. So I went to the showroom just to have a casual look to this masterpiece. And I was bowled over the moment these showroom guys kick-started the machine. That typical two-stroker twin. And then they showed me the specs, 38 horsepower on a 160, 170 odd kilos machine. And then I compared it with that old elephant of ours, the Royal Enfield. Manika, this is bollocks. Look at that figure and look at that. And then I took a test ride. And I was hooked for life. At that moment, I realized I was born for this, for motorcycling. So all thanks to this machine. I started way back in '85, and then, like they say, after that there was no looking.
I was 1 year old then.
Oh yeah. So finally, our MBBS sparked off this whole thing, and it's been a never-ending, lovely journey since then. And plus, apart from owning, riding, and experiencing different parts of the country on this machine, another important thing was how to maintain and how to take care of your vehicle. And because this was a high demand kind of a motorcycle, too much of maintenance was required and still required.
Were you married then?
No, not at that time.
Okay.
But then after my marriage in '89, the motorcycles grew up exponentially, I would say. So that was never an obstacle in my journey. So she taught me a lot about synchronization, timing adjustments, carburetor cleaning and synchros. Lot of other things which come along with a high maintenance motorcycle. But once it started after that, then it was pure heaven. The way it used to go, and the way the crowds went bonkers at every red light. So that's how the journey, my personal journey began from 85 onwards.
So Doc, I've heard that you yourself maintain all your motorcycles.
Yeah, that's correct.
Correct?
Yeah, like I was telling you, this baby taught me a lot. So since then, I kept on amassing all the tools possible for the big bikes also, because after this, within I think 2 years, I managed to get my hands on a Kawasaki 440 LTD. That was a parallel twin, 4-stroke, almost in the range of 40 to 42 brake horsepower. So then I enjoyed the thrust and the torque of a twin cylinder 4-stroke. So again, I had to know something, because at that time there was hardly any mechanic, only what they were from the Bullets ones and the Java ones, but they had no clue about motorcycles, bigger motorcycles,
bigger ones,
big bikes. So I then, obviously at that time there was no internet, nothing, so no knowledge was also there as easily accessible as it is right now. So
I remember you used to have those thick books, because my father used to read those books.
Yeah, I still have them, and you'll see in the garage, those are all lined up there, catalogued properly. So I used to read a lot, then I used to request my friends traveling from US to here to get those manuals proper. Haynes is one of the very famous company which makes the manuals. So I used to sit down, experiment how to maintain, because it was all carburetors in those times. So that's the reason I service everything even till now with me. Whenever there is a slightly bigger errand, like a servicing of or changing the fork seal, then I call a friend, because it requires 2 people to take out the fork and service. So I do that. Majority of the things, everything done. Sometimes they keep laughing. Some friends, they know I use my ear, nose, throat instruments also, the headlights and the long forceps to go into the valve area on top of the piston and remove the carbon there.
So basically, you're the man who knows how to use his tools on the machine
and on the
man.
And on the man.
On the
so
man
that's the nice part. So I do everything on my own.
Awesome.
That's correct.
Perfect. Great learning for us. So Doc, what was the genesis of creating G.O.D.S?
It just happened because, like I said, from 85 till 98, I was riding solo. There was nobody, hardly anybody in the city who had superbikes. So I had a company of a couple of 2-3 friends, but they had their RX100s and Bajaj RTZ KB 100. So, and then I used to take sometimes my RD and then sometimes the 440 LTD, and then in early 90s I had the Gixxer 750 and 1100 also. So in those times there was nobody except one dear friend who had Rajiv Khanna. So he was always busy in his 4-wheelers and the rallying, and he was there outside the city all the time. And then in 1998 I came to know a gentleman by the name of Rais Muhammad, who is such a darling of a person, who is still so close, and we are so close. He is still a main part of God. So I tracked him down somehow. He stays in Jama Masjid. So he had a Honda VF 750 Interceptor, a V4 750. So somehow I took his landline number from somewhere, and then we got connected. So then I said, "Ke Rais bhai, come on, let's now do it. You have been also riding for some years, and let's start riding together." So he was overjoyed. Then he had his nephew also, Shahbaz Khan, Arshi bhai. He had a VT 250 Honda.
Okay.
So that was a 250 V-twin. He had a VT 250. So then we used to ride on Sundays. And gradually, within a year or so, another dear brother to me now, Gurinder Singh, who's a master of the track. So then he joined, and he had a CBR 400. So gradually that's how the group started from 98, and in 2000 we had 5-6 people with big bikes. So that's how it happened, by sheer chance, and I was doing all the solo rides 85 to 98, whether it was any big bike. So I was riding on my own. And then when this happened, so the charm of riding together was totally different. It was beautiful. I mean, you had that feeling if something goes wrong with your machine or anything, you had the support system. You had like-minded, lovely friends who are there to help you out. And they also had a lot of knowledge. They still have, Rais bhai and Arshi bhai. So they used to chip in with whatever knowledge they had, which was tremendous. So that's how the group gradually progressed from just 2 people to 5 to 10 and now around 130 or so. So never been after the numbers, it was the quality of people which matters, the mature riders which I always seek and they approach me. So that was the bottom line, the quality and respectable, mature superbike or motorcycle riding rather than having thousands or 500 in the group and going bonkers on the road. No, that was never the objective. So it just happened, like your initial thing, how it had happened, it just happened by chance. And then on one fine Sunday morning, I still remember we were on the GT road and I said, Rees bhai, ये नाम मेरे को दिमाग में आया G.O.D.S group of कहता है उनका जो typical बेहतरीन sir जी, I mean just lock it. So I just got it registered later on and that's how G.O.D.S came into being.
Wow. Yeah, I still remember. I was in class 10 during that time. We used to get Delhi Times. In our school, as part of education. So in Delhi Times there was an article. So my friend came running to me. Sumit, ये देख क्या ये G.O.D.S करके कोई ग्रुप है यार. मैं कहा तो क्या करें, अपने पास तो स्कूटर भी नहीं है अभी. What do we do? Then I need to buy a superbike. Do you want to buy a superbike ever? So that friend, he is in Birmingham right now. So he rides a Super Duke R and I ride something similar. So, it has been great today. I'm sitting with you. The founder of G.O.D.S. I never thought about it. So it's a great moment for me.
Yeah, and before I actually got that 440 LTD, in those 2 years between 350 and that, I used to see some guy passing. I still remember it was a red colored motorcycle, but it had to be a slightly bigger capacity and it just would zoom away. I had the RD, but I used to, because the sound was phenomenal. So I used to feel one day, okay, wow man, I wish I could own this kind of a motorcycle without knowing. I just saw once or twice, but it was so fast, I mean, I couldn't catch up. So that's how, I mean, the passion was ignited. And that's how the G.O.D.S came into being.
For people like us, the hunger never ends.
Oh yeah, never. never. The more
even
the
if
merrier.
See another 1000cc, I do have a 1000cc. I see the other one, I wish I had that.
Bikes are like that.
So that happens with me and Vibhas. So I've got a Thruxton R, he's got a Pani Gale, and I keep on looking at his Pani Gale, and he's a Thruxton R. He said, let's not spend money, let's exchange for a few months.
Correct, because there's no end to it.
There's no end to it.
There's no end to it.
I can see that.
So, even after having all these, I'm always thinking, okay, maybe I come across that machine. It's a never-ending hunger.
I know.
It's that extreme
but it
with
keeps
people
us
like,
young.
It keeps us alive from inside.
Absolutely.
Alive.
My dad, he's 63. He rides a Multistrada.
Wow.
And he's like, it keeps me young.
Yep, exactly. Now everybody, I'm sure, is now yearning to just get out once this pandemic is over.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have sacrificed or we have missed out on our annual international trips, but now we are yearning for a big national one. So it's true with, I think, every bike rider. Okay, let's roll out. Irrespective of a machine, we have to ride.
Yeah, that's what our brand philosophy at happinessperkm.
A genuine motorcycle cyclist always has this thought. To ride. Whether it's 100cc or 1000, immaterial.
So Doc, what are the various activities you do in the group? I mean, of course you do ride, but like outstation rides or international rides. Can you explain us about that?
Sure. So since it started in '98, the main thing, like you said, has always been riding and more riding. So initially it was just limited to Sunday rides. When the superbikes came, though I was doing a lot of long rides on even the RT, this RD and other big bikes. But when the group came, so I didn't immediately start off with the long rides. We never knew what kind of other riders were. So it was a learning curve, still is, even for the best of the riders. So we confined ourselves to Sundays only, which still now is obviously one of the main features. Come rain or sunshine, we have to ride on Sunday. So that is happening since '98, and then from roughly my first Ladakh on a Bullet 535 was in '99, first time the Ladakh trip. So I there was no G.O.D.S wala member because at that time we were just 3 or 4. So I went with some other friends. So after that, when I came back, so these rest of the people, those left 4, 5, they went bonkers after seeing the pictures and all. Okay, dog, we must do long rides also on these kinds of machines.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, why not? So then we started with, let's say, Delhi Missouri on these bikes, Delhi Shimla. Then I started telling them about Uttarakhand. At that time, it was all UP only. So in the area of Chamoli, and then in Himachal, we used to go to, apart from Shimla, Lokabhi, Sangla Valley, we went to Sangla Valley also. That's how the journeys started expanding on superbikes, the national ones.
Wow.
And then after, I would say roughly 2006 and 7, then the whole G.O.D.S group used to join me for Leh Ladakh. It became an annual feature. Annual feature. So we used to be around between 20 and 25. So some people had those big bikes, ADVs. Even at that time, a couple of people
they must have felt very good.
Yeah, very good. And the rest, majority were having the charismas and all. But we avoided, I was specific in saying don't take any bike which has tubes. So we used to stick to those machines, whether it was a Pulsar 200 or whatever with tubeless. So that's how, again, such extreme trips. So we have done Ladakh, I don't know, 10 times in the last 14, 15 years. And then such pass we did, Spiti Valley number of times. And and still it continues. So apart from these lengthy 10 to 11 days annually, one national trip, we do around 2 to 3 small Friday to Sunday wala trips on superbikes, whether it's from here to Nainital on all the big bikes, or Rajasthan, Rajasthan, we did that, that's Kimsar, the salt flats, I keep remembering.
Yeah, you did, I think in February you went.
Feb, and then Ranthambore. So places like these, which were like Friday to Sunday types, we used to do. Same with Himachal, Lansdowne, we used to go. And that's another regular feature now, 2 to 3 trips, weekend wala, Friday to Saturday, one long trip, national. So then 7 years, since 7 years, I had this thing, I must see the world on 2 wheelers before I leave the world. So I started this concept, and obviously everybody agreed, yes doc, we must. So we started the international thing 7 years ago with Northern Thailand. So that Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai,
Udon Thani,
Chiang Rai. So we started, we were 37 and those people went bonkers, and we spread over a distance of 4.5 kilometers, 37 motorcycles, it was huge. So then came Bhutan the next year, then I was dying to go to Isle of Man TT racing, so we did that. We camped there on the track, just by the side of the track. So we did top to tip, Scotland to the bottom of UK, and in between we went for IOM.
We went to the Isle of Skye and...
Isle of Skye and John O'Groats is the topmost part of Scotland, where the custom is to dip the rear tire in the water. We did that. It was bone-chilling cold, but we did that. Then we came down and went to Land's End, the lowest part of UK. So that was again phenomenal, that place. And in between 3 days of IOM TT racing. And then we went to the Southern Europe, which was the Monte Carlo, France, and Cannes, Italy. And we went to the village, Tavia, of Valentino Rossi, and we deliberately made that kind of a thing. We reached their place on a Sunday when the MotoGP was happening. I'm forgetting where, but we sat there with the official Valentino Rossi club. In the whole Jingbang was there, his club was there. We went there and we saw the MotoGP there in his village, Tavia.
That's like living a dream.
That's beautiful. So we did Switzerland at that trip, Switzerland, France and Italy and the French Riviera. And then after that we did Russia, and the last in November 19 was purely heaven on earth, which was New Zealand. I mean, what a country.
I followed that tour of yours.
What riding roads and what phenomenal people. So that was it. So
and I think very less traffic.
Very less traffic. Very few people, especially in Southern Ireland.
And speed limits?
Speed limit 110.
Can you say on the camera?
sadly 110. We couldn't go. and the local guide was there, so obviously they did let us go. But in one stretch, I remember, I'm forgetting which sound, Milford Sound.
Milford Sound, yeah.
The stretch towards Milford Sound was roughly around for an hour and a half. So on the way back, suddenly the guy said, he's a very mature, experienced rider. He said, I'll just take it easy here. You guys head back. I go, are you okay? I mean, what about the speeds? It's okay. I am sure he knew there won't be any cameras or something.
Okay.
And then we zipped those
So
around.
you're dying to do that.
Yeah, 120 odd kilometers. Somebody was at 150, some 140, 170, but it was phenomenal. So otherwise they're pretty strict. 110 is the upper limit, and we've got challans coming in for 120 also. 120. So 2 people got for 120. So it was just 10 above the limit, but we still
I
stayed.
got fined the other day for doing 53 in the 50 zone in Delhi.
Sad, but I mean they should give a leniency of like 5 to 10 kilometers. But anyway, that's the way they are. So I respect them fully because that's how the society learns.
Yeah.
So that's true everywhere. Russia was a little bit on the lenient
So
side, I
they're
would
like
say.
India.
Yeah. Though there we were zipping, there was no worry, because again the local guide said, it's okay, just follow me. So he was doing 150. He said fine. So even the UK, Scotland, they are very strict.
Yeah,
but we did a lot of inner roads, very inner roads inside the villages and all that. So there you can do beyond 120.
And you get more bends also.
Yeah, more bends also. So, but overall, the world over, it's 110.
Yeah.
America most probably is 120. That's it. So this was our last trip, and unfortunately this year, as you know, we had to miss it out. So that's the thing what we keep doing.
What was the plan this year? Where to go?
This year we were just about to finalize. We were just choosing about the Nordic states, the upper part of Europe. So and there was a fight between that and the Eastern Europe, the Poland and the Romania and the Croatia. So that kind of a thing. It was a
Croatia is beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, most probably next year. So that was that. So that's what we do. Sunday rides, one huge national trip. One big 10 to 12 to sometimes it goes up to 2 weeks, 14 days of international riding, and then 2 to 3 weekend trips. That's the itinerary for almost the entire year.
Awesome, great. So, Doc, what is the profile of the members in G.O.D.S? Are they businessmen only? Are they students? Or they are like working professionals in MNCs?
No, not students, because the age criteria is minimum 26 years. 26. So we have people who are above that. So it's a motley kind of a crew. So I would say majority are professionals. Businessmen are also there. Professionals are there. There are another 2 or 3 doctors apart from me. Then you have chartered accountants, and there we have a lot of people from the defense personnel. We have 2, 3 colonels are there, and there again 3 to 5 pilots are there, and the rest are good posts in some multinational companies and chartered accountants. So that is the kind of profile you have.
The great networking also you do when you guys meet.
I mean,
people from varied backgrounds.
But we don't discuss anything except motorcycling. That's the best part. I mean, whenever we meet on any Sunday, everybody's only having one question: Doc, kahan chalna hai? Where next? So everybody's now.
Doc, kya le rahe ho next?
Kya le rahe ho next? Ya kahan chalna hai? So now, because we were planning that once this thing slightly eases out, the traveling in Uttarakhand and Himachal, so most probably by the end of this month, we would be again going from 5 to 7 of an Indian kind of a trip, but somewhere in remote areas, remote hilly areas.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. So that's the only discussion we have. Bikes and biking. That's our life.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, because the people who are non-motorcyclists, they always, they tell me, क्या बात करते हो? कितना बात करते हो? Bore नहीं होते हो? नहीं होते. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about some motorcycle.
Yeah, correct.
Doc, what is your take on the importance of riding gear?
I think one of the most important part, I would say, about motorcycling is protecting yourself and others also who are riding with you. So apart from, like I said, the age criteria, one of the most important things we follow is having the riding gear on, whether it's a, let's say, we're just going for a breakfast only, 20 minutes ride,
Yeah.
but it has to be fully geared.
Okay.
It's for your own safety. And like I said, everybody around you gets affected if you are not in proper gear. And then you have to set an example also
Yeah.
for the riders. Okay, yes, this is what sensible motorcycling is all about. So we've seen people going down but surviving because of the gear only. As you would have seen so many videos of MotoGPs,
Yeah.
people crashes at 280, 300 and the guy just walks out.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the amazing, amazing gear. So we make sure that nobody just walks in on a Sunday ride with just an incomplete gear. So it has to be proper from top to bottom, whether these are your helmets or gloves or the riding boots or knee guards or the riding denims or something. So that we make sure, and I'm so happy to say everybody follows. I mean, it is like a given. I mean, they don't have to be
Yeah, it's not an option.
told. No, I mean, they understand and they comply so well. So
Yeah.
that's the importance.
Okay.
And that's the importance. And everybody should follow that. It's for your own safety, number one. You are safe, then only you will enjoy the passion. Otherwise, if you are disabled in some kind of a horrific crash or if
Yeah.
you are no more, then what is the point?
And there are people waiting at home.
Yeah, there are people waiting.
So any message for the youth? Because I see today a lot of youngsters, like when I say youngsters, like 22, 23, they have got access to liter class motorcycles. And sometimes, I get scared seeing a young lad, like a 21-year-old, doing a 215 on the KMP or the Yamuna Expressway.
That's the sad part, I would say, and obviously it starts from home. So if the parents are like that, they are not bothered about this aspect.
Yeah.
Koi nahi, we have the money, koi nahi, so what, he can have it. So that's absolutely wrong attitude. The parents should be very strict. Okay, if you want to enjoy motorcycling, don't start with a superbike straight away. Go in for a proper Indian machine, low capacity. Learn the tricks on that, keep it for a year or so, do around 8 to 10,000 kilometers, learn what is motorcycling, what is
Yeah.
safety,
Yeah.
get the gears even then, and then you progress to a bigger bike, because then they are death machines, as you know. So this thing is, don't jump on. This is for the parents also. However, I mean, adorable your kid is, but then you don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
You have to keep him intact. Just
Correct.
think like that. So I'll never allow my son to do that ever. And if he doesn't understand, then obviously I'll put my foot down. Okay, no ways you're gonna go out. So that's my message to the youth. Okay, do motorcycling is one of the best passions in the world, according to us.
Yeah.
I won't say one of the
See,
best. I would say.
This gets a smile.
Yeah.
by speaking.
But treat it with respect, treat yourself with respect, and don't mess up with the others on the road. Don't do idiotic stunts on the road which disrupts the public and they keep complaining about you. The whole image of motorcycling goes down.
Yeah.
Okay, these are born hooligans.
Yeah.
Everybody would say that. The way we have also been seeing when we were children and all, anybody doing the stupidity out on, I especially remember the outer circle of India Gate, and
Yeah.
my blood used to boil. Okay, what are these guys up to?
Yeah.
So don't do that ever. Respect motorcycling, enjoy. It's a beautiful thing, but stay alive and let other people live.
And enjoy.
Amen.
Enjoy the motorcycling. Yeah. Awesome. So anybody else in your family rides?
No.
No, you're the only one. Your son did not follow
No,
the passion?
did not. He's not in the country also. He's in
Okay.
US. So, but he's a travel freak, but not a motorcyclist.
All right. So Doc, it has been our pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for giving your time, and it's an honor for us.
Pleasure is all mine, because like I always keep saying, it's so amazing to meet like-minded people, and I know how passionate you guys are regarding motorcycling. So the feeling is mutual. Yeah,
Thank
it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
So this is like happiness per kilometer for me.
Oh yeah, and I would wish you guys to convert it into happiness per millimeter.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would love that. Happiness per mm.
Per
It is
mm,
like, even
wow.
if you just move like this, it is happiness. You
happiness.
don't wait for a kilometer.
Absolutely.
It's happiness per mm.
All right.
So all the very best for your
Thank you,
future
sir.
endeavors, and all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So guys, it was an interesting day spent with Dr. Speed. I hope you liked the video. More videos are coming your way. And for that, you need to click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell icon. Till next time.